I'm very glad to meet you, to greet you. We have our introductory webinar, and my name is Alexandra Orlov. I'm responsible for the stream of the team. We were talking to you during the interview. We have roughly an hour to discuss the main points about the education. So thank you very much for joining us. Try to listen to carefully because it touches upon our education programs. So the first question is, what is the Strata Plan Black program? Then I will give a word to our studio in Kiev, and Sasha, my colleague, will tell you about the project, about the curriculum, who started from the very beginning with the first generation of our students, while the facilitators. What are the expectations? This all will be during the second block. Then me and Sava Pankratov will discuss the next moments about the career and management. He will tell you about the career studios, thus you will have the opportunity to get it better. And the last thing is how to organize better your space, your timing, as you all have your families, your job, it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so how to better organize your space and how to make it more useful. And the advisors will be very simple. So what are the first steps? We will name them. And what is the program of the Tetics Black? I can tell you that you're quite lucky because it's the last iteration program of the Tetics involved into online business starting for several years, and we have different formats, different practices, a very good and big experience, and this is actually the best that we will manage to organize in terms of efficiency, involvement, the tools that you can learn from us. And for the current moment, we have around 150 students, and they came to us from different companies, big ones, mid ones, different corporations, different countries. And this phenomena is very interesting for us because the tools which are useful for us, they're not universal ones. We know that they works almost everywhere, but they actually are very positive in terms of the future results. And the next point is that probably you will work together in the group with people from different cities, different realities. And this is another very useful tool, as this is your own experience. Of course, you are quite successful and you want to increase your capacities and skills, or you have money, or there is the company who organizes such trainings for you. But looking onto other people's and their experiences, you can find some blind zones. Probably you have neglected them, and thus you have the opportunity to notice your weak points, and this is another advantage of the program. All in all, the Tetics Black is the program of changes. We believe that studying or trainings are not only about the knowledges, and they are all about the changes in real life, and I hope changes for the better. And if you can see such changes, it means that it was useful for you. Thus, we use different instruments, tools. We have been working in this sphere for over 10 years, and now we understand better what tools are effective and what tools are not effective. And in books, you can read information about them, but probably they're not adaptable to everyone, and in the reality, you cannot use them or you shouldn't use them. The second story is case. Probably when you are talking about the cases, thus you can think about different objects, about different topics. You had filled out the form and you had the opportunity to think about something. Thus it means that your brain is evolved into working. The third point here, they are coaches. Tactics. That means that the coaches are together next to you, and all the streams, they are organized by our coaches. Personally, it will be me, and we will discuss the cases, and probably it is the best program of us if we are speaking about in terms of this context. Number four, the guest speakers. It's a brilliant opportunity for us to listen to other speakers who had their own experience. Some they can inform you, they can give you some new information, and at the same time can be a very good role model for you. Probably now you do not have a real mentor, but this is a good news that they can be books, they can be speakers, and watching those people, you can get something and to add something to you. We will have a big number of such speakers. You can, of course, watch our videos recorded as well, but I do recommend you to be present during the live streams. Now, the next point, the group discussions. So this is actually your job, the interaction with other people, the reaction to the opinions of other people, and this is repeatable in our life, everyday life, and in safe conditions, you can try to change your approaches to test them in the real life. So the result you can obtain very valuable resources. Now about the format, 3-day educational, 3-day trainings, you can look at different trainings, but we understand people have private lives, job, or families, and it's quite difficult to dedicate much time on that. Thus, we've decided be to follow this format and to dedicate us completely to the studying. For those who desire, who are ready to invest more money, more energies, and more forces, we will have additional practices for those who would like to get more trainings. We'll discuss it later with you, of course, in more detailed way. So, the program, I hope, will be very useful for you, and I think, in a very good way, we decided and we have found the right way to design the programs in the best way for our students. So now I would like to give a floor to Miss Alexandra Churachenko. She was the first moderator and facilitator. Now she is the director, the CEO of Tetics. So, Sasha, please give a word, give a flow, and tell us about the organizational matters. Sasha, thank you very much. Thank you for the introduction. Dear colleagues, thank you very much. I'm quite formal and official always. This is all about the figures, about the process, about the structure, the design of the course, and my task for today is to collect that information, to explain to you how the process works, and to tell about several accents and the key points. So, dear colleagues, congratulations! You are starting a new educational course. We have one additional facultative course, and we have several modules, 5 modules. We are beginning from the February, and we are finishing in June. Of course, we have one optional module, which will take place in July and August. I would like to answer the question about the optional module. We are oriented on our goals that we hope are very useful for you, and this is additional practice, and this is only a practical course where you have the opportunities to get more information and get more opportunities to train your skills. And we will meet each other during different sessions. Alexander has explained something to you once in a month, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, according to the schedules. We have found out that the location of our students is pretty different. They are located in different time zones, thus we understood that it would be better to organize two streams. The first one, they work from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. with some coffee breaks, the opportunities to talk to the colleagues, to get some fresh air, and the second session will start at 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. Moscow time zone, the same days, Friday, Saturday, Sundays. So, dear colleagues, please remember that time zones matter because they're all different and you should be very careful with that. We are beginning from the February the 5th, and the next course about the team, it starts in 2 weeks from the February the 12th. Dear colleagues, we will tell you about some additional moments, about some further figures. The information is not very important to be memorized. You will have it all in your back office, and all that issues, they are all in your back office again. If you have any further questions, or if you would like to obtain or to get some additional information, you have a facilitator or a moderator, and they actually got to know you and the students who had the interviews before, and they are in the groups. They had the opportunity to get to know to the moderator. So what is the next step? What are the main activities of our education during the sessions? So Friday and Saturday, they're pretty alike. We have a theoretical block. Our coach will inform you, will hold a lecture, and you have the opportunity to ask directly the facilitator. You have the opportunity to work with practical tasks after the theory. You have a case with a situation, and you have to be able to solve the situation with the tools mentioned before. Then, with your decision, you come back to the group and you work together in a group. It's very important, and the end is to find the right conclusion, to discuss the case with the facilitator, and to continue working. Sunday is quite different. We have several seminars with guest speakers. Alexandra has already informed you, but it's very useful too because it's additional opinion how to manage the projects, how to interact with the team, and the guest speakers will share their valuable experience based on the practice. The instruments and tools may be slightly different, but this is a great opportunity to make it more useful for you and to inform you better. And on Sunday, we are expecting to have Slava Pankratov and Alexander Orlov, our colleagues. Probably have told you about them before. Then Alexander and Vyacheslav will provide you with more information. They can share their own opinion and personal views. Then, what have to be
Есть два
done.
варианта. Когда
There are
вы
two
чувствуете, что в этом модуле
opportunities
теоретический материал у
that
вас
the
понятен,
information, the
практических
theory is
заданий было
pretty clear to
достаточно, вы
you,
чувствуете в себе уверенность
and
идти уже
you
что-то применять в жизнь,
feel quite
вы идете в
comfortable and
течение
can
месяца,
apply them
внедряете
to your
изученное
personal
в
life,
практику. Коллеги, обратите
you
внимание,
continue
что
working.
стратегия
So
настроена на то,
please
чтобы
pay
не
attention
только изучать
here. We are
теоретический материал и
oriented and
проходить
focus
в
not only the
практических занятиях
theoretical material
на в наших так, в малых
and
группах,
work
мы
on
настроены
small
на то и
groups.
настраиваем наших
We
студентов, что
work
после того, как вы
closely with
что-то
our
изучили и
students,
попробовали здесь,
and
в
after you
экспериментальной
have
среде,
tried something
необходимо
out
эту
in
уже
this
полученную информацию, уже
ambience,
этот накопленный
you
опыт
collect the
внести в
experience
практику,
and
делать
you
что-то
try
руками в вашей
to
жизни.
check
Только тогда
it
будут
in your
случаться те
personal
изменения,
life.
ради которых вы
Only
пришли.
that you can track the
Поэтому мы
changes, the
делаем
real
такие
changes.
промежутки между
That is
сессиями,
why
поэтому мы
such
делаем промежутки в
intervals and
месяц
such
между модулями,
pauses
чтобы
are
у вас было
crucial for you
достаточно
to have
времени
enough time
попрактиковать,
to
порефлексировать, увидеть, что у вас
reflect,
получается, и нам
to
об
have
этом
some
рассказать
practice,
в неком таком
and
документе
to
подведения
conclude,
итогов, оно
probably,
называется
to
эссе,
write an
в котором мы
essay
хотели бы услышать про этот ваш
where
опыт.
you
Чуть
can
дальше
tell
я
us
покажу,
about your
чем иссе будет
experience.
отличаться
Further,
по, скажем, там,
I
ценности,
will
да, для вашего
provide you with more
обучения
details.
по программе.
Why
Но
is
сейчас
it
скажу, что когда
useful
вы
and valuable
будете
for you?
выполнять
But when
это
you
задание,
work
когда
at
вы будете
this
писать эссе,
task, I
обязательно
mean writing an
посмотрите
essay,
наши
you
требования.
should
У нашего
analyze
эссе
the
есть техническое задание.
requirements. We have
Старайтесь
technical
ему
tasks,
соответствовать, потому что,
and
забегая
please try
вперед,
to meet this
у этого
request
задания
because
выполнить, там, написать эссе самый высокий
you
балл.
can
И наши
collect the
кураторы
points
ставят
this way, the
приоритет
credits,
выполнения все-таки этого задания так,
and
как мы
we
бы
would like
хотели
to
его
see
видеть.
it in the way
И
that we
это эссе вы
explained to
присылаете
you.
кураторам. И
Then you
тогда мы с
have to
вами
send the
встречаемся уже на
essay
следующей
to the
сессии по
moderator.
расписанию. Если вдруг
In
вам показалось,
case
что
the
практики
practice is not
недостаточно,
enough
если
for
вдруг
you,
осталось
or you
какое-то
have
желание
some desire
доработать,
to work
хотелось бы
harder, to
попробовать
work
инструмент с
more,
другими
you have to
коучами в
try
других
out several
ситуациях,
other cases
возможно,
in
даже с
different
другими людьми в другой
situations,
группе,
probably with other
приходите тогда
people
на
in other
дополнительные
groups.
занятия
You have to
между
visit, or
сессиями.
you
Мы
can
будем проводить
visit
их с каждой
the
группой один раз в
seminars
неделю.
with other
Если
groups
вдруг здесь есть
once in
такая
a week.
небольшая тайна от кураторов, я думаю, кураторы
And
вам будут это
moderator,
рассказывать,
of
и мы
course, they
настоятельно
will inform
рекомендуем,
you.
если есть у вас
And
желание и временные
once again, I
возможности,
would like to
походите в
highlight,
несколько
if you
групп.
have the
Не только в ту, в
opportunities,
которую вы
you
будете
can also
записывать.
visit
Даже если
other
вы будете
groups,
отрабатывать одно и то же
and you
задание, один и
can
тот же кейс с
work out the
разными
same
аудиториями, с
task with
разными
different
людьми,
people,
вы сами увидите,
with
что
different
обсуждение
audiences. You can see
вариантов
that
видения этого
discussions
кейса
are
может быть
always
гораздо больше,
different,
нежели только
and
накапливается в вашей группе.
it is not just
Вариантов решения
simply
тоже может быть больше.
limited
Хотите
of your
больше
group.
практики,
If you would
ходите в
like to
разные
have more
группы.
practice,
Скажите только об
you're
этом вашим
welcome to
кураторам,
visit
организаторам
different
вашего
groups,
обучения, они
and the
помогут вам
moderators will
подключиться
help you
еще в
out
какие-то группы, походить
and
на другие
inform you
занятия.
better.
И помимо
And what's
того,
more,
какой бы вы путь ни
it
выбрали,
doesn't
уйти
matter
не
what
только
path
практиковать
have you
у себя
chosen
на
for
работе
yourself to
и
make
потом
some
нам
practice at
описать это
work
в
and
эссе,
to
или
describe it
походить
in the
еще позаниматься
essay, or
дополнительно,
to
мы
attend
настоятельно
additional
рекомендуем
classes. We
обязательно задавать
recommend you to
вопросы.
other
У вас
questions.
обязательно
You
будут
will
возникать
have several
вопросы,
questions.
несмотря на
Of
то,
course, it
будете ли вы
doesn't
только
matter
применять у себя на
what
работе, будете ли вы
strategy
писать
do you
эссе,
follow.
будете ли вы
Just
повторять
simply write
теоретический
an essay,
материал, будете ли вы работать
revise
на
theoretical
дополнительных занятиях,
material,
все равно вопросы
visit
будут
additional and
возникать.
attend
Задавайте,
additional
пожалуйста,
classes.
вопросы в
Please ask
межсессионный период,
questions.
не оставляйте белых
We
пятен,
have to
задавайте
fill
их
all the
нашим
blank
тренерам через личный
spaces.
кабинет.
So,
Коллеги,
dear
где
colleagues,
это все
where
можно
you can find
найти,
the
где эта
information?
информация будет аккумулироваться, где вы ее найдете и
You can
под каким
find all this
по каким источникам вы
information
будете
in the
смотреть
following
будете
sources
читать.
and the following
Итак,
channels
расписание
of
сессий вы
communication.
сможете увидеть
You
в
will be
личных
able to
кабинетах в
see the
разделе
session schedule in your
«Организационное
personal accounts
обучение»,
in
там,
the
там
organizational
настроено
section,
обучение.
which is
Помимо
dedicated
этого, вы
to
сможете найти это
organizational
на сайте
matters.
школы, там вывешено
Next, you can
расписание всех
find
сессий,
the
выхода всю
schedule at the
программу.
school website,
И обязательно будет
tetics.com, and
обязательно
of course,
письмо
we'll be
напоминание
sending you a reminder letter a week and a
ежемесячно
day
за
before
день и
the
время
start of the
сессии.
session.
Программа сессий– это некий
The
такой
session
сценарий, что
program,
будет
the
происходить
script
в
or the
каждый
scenario of
сессионный
what's
день.
happening
Она может
during each
меняться в
session day,
зависимости от того, как
can
тренер видит
change
процесс
according to
именно
the
на этом
coach's
в этом модуле,
understanding
в этой
of this
трехдневке. И
particular
программу мы
3-day
также будем
session. And
размещать
of
в
course, we
личных
will be
кабинетах, однако это уже
sending
будет
session
такой
programs to you
отдельный
in your
раздел под
personal
каждый
accounts
модуль.
in the section of each
И в
module.
письме напоминания за
And
неделю
a week a
за
day before the
день
session
сессии вы
begins,
также
you will
получите
also receive
программу.
a
На нее вы
reminder
можете
letter with the
ориентироваться, чтобы
session
понимать,
program
когда будет перерыв,
so
когда
that you
будет
know when the coffee
кофе-брейк,
break
в
is,
какое
when
время
just a
задумано
short break
практическое
is, when
занятие с
you will be
группой, для
working in
чего это
groups,
нужно.
working on
Мы
practical
работаем на
assignments.
разных площадках.
Why do we
Обратите
need all
внимание,
that?
весь теоретический
We
материал,
work
встречи с
across
гостевыми
multiple
спикерами,
platforms,
студия Орлова и
and the
Панкратова будет
studios
проходить на
by Alex
площадке Zoom,
Orlov
который
and
вот сейчас
Vyacheslav
с вами
Pankratov will be
включаемся.
taking place in
Практические же
Zoom,
занятия
whereas
пройдут на
practical
площадке
classes in
Skype.
groups
Мы
will be taking
исторически
place in
работаем
Skype,
с практикой
in
именно на
Skype
этой
groups.
площадке. Она понятна, есть абсолютно во всех приложениях, ее легко
This
скачать, и она будет
program,
как бы
this
интеграция с
application
другими
is
проводила, поэтому она
accessible,
удобна для
and
работы
in our
именно на
experience,
вашей.
it works
Плюс там есть
well with
еще дополнительный
practical
функционал,
classes
который
in
наши
groups,
кураторы
and
будут
we will
использовать,
be also
фасилитаторы,
using a
в
few more
работе с
communication
группами во
channels
время практического
during
занятия.
practical
Коллеги,
sessions.
обратите
Our
внимание, что есть
facilitators will be
несколько
using
каналов
other
информации,
applications
по
as
которым
well.
мы с вами
So please, I
коммуницируем.
would like you
Мы
to
не
pay
будем
attention
его
to the
сужать
fact
до
that
одного
we will be
канала.
using
Наша практика
several
подсказывает,
communication
что мы
channels
видим
because in our
абсолютно из разных
experience,
источников
people
черпают
draw
информацию,
information
и
from a multitude
сужение
of sources,
информационного
and
потока
narrowing
только,
the
например, до
information
рассылок по
flow
почте,
down to a
в общем,
newsletter
приведет
or
к
to
некому риску,
emails
когда люди
leads
могут
to a
не
risk of
замечать вовремя
our
информацию.
participants
Поэтому
overlooking certain
дублировать мы будем
fragments of
по разным
information. So we
каналам.
will be using
Выбирайте
multiple
тот, где вам
information channels,
удобнее
and you are
размещать
free
информацию,
to
либо
choose
это
whichever
личный
suits you
кабинет,
best,
либо
whether in
это
your
рассылка
personal
на почту,
account
либо
or
это
on the
чат
school
вашей
website
группы.
or
В любом
in your
случае вы не
mailbox.
потеряете никакую
In any
информацию, она
case,
всегда
you
у вас
won't
будет
lose
где-то
the
отмечена,
information,
будет
but you will be
продублирована.
able to
Если же
see
вы
it in
выбрали
multiple
канал
sources if you
все-таки
choose to.
получать наши рассылки на почту, наша
If
такая
you choose
рекомендация, которую
email
мы делаем
as
на
your
опытом, внесите наш адрес
channel
в
of
школу,
communication,
обязательно в
please make
белый
sure to
список, тогда
whitelist
ничего не
the
будет падать в
addresses
спам, или вы
school
не
at
потеряете никаких
tetics.com and
документов.
alex at
Коллеги,
tetics.com so
мы
that
работаем
our
по
emails don't
академической
end up in the
успеваемости,
spam folder.
за что мы, собственно, даем сертификаты
Then
в
let's
начальной
move on
школе.
to
Не просто
our
за
points and
наличие вас в
credits,
списке
what
студентов,
we give
безусловно,
our
нет. У нас
certificates
достаточно
for,
высокие
because
требования
we have
академические.
high
Давайте
academic
посмотрим,
requirements to
что
our
мы
students.
предложили в этой
This
программе.
is what
Мы
awaits you
работаем
in
по
this
бальной
program. We're
системе.
going to
В сессионной
work with
программе
points
предусмотрены
and
такие вот
credits
активности. В пятницу, субботу это
and
посещение
different
теоретического материала,
activities
посещение теоретической
are a
части.
chance to
Оно
win
оценивается
different
2
amount of
балла.
points.
У нас с
So
вами 5
attending a
модулей
theoretical
по
class
2
earns you
каждый.
2 points
И
each,
итого
so you
максимальное
can get
количество
as
баллов,
many
которые
as
вы можете
20
получить в
points
течение программы, это
for the
20
entire
баллов.
duration of the
Пятница,
program.
суббота,
On Fridays and
практические
on Saturdays, we
занятия.
have practical
Обратите
classes.
внимание, балл повыше,
And please pay
именно потому
attention to
что
the
мы
fact
считаем, что
that
вся
practical
магия,
classes
которая
earn you
случается у
more
наших
points.
студентов, она
We
происходит
believe
именно в
that
практических
practical
занятиях в
classes
группах.
are
Поэтому и
more important
ценность
for the
вашего
overall
посещения
progress of our
практических
students,
занятий в
so
крайне
the
высока.
value
Мы
of
еще
these
поговорим с вами чуть позже про
classes in
то,
terms
что
of
нужно сделать,
points
чтобы
is
получить
higher.
как можно больше пользы
We'll
с инновационной точки
discuss
зрения
other
от
ways of
практических занятий.
boosting the
Александр
value
как раз
of our
скажет чуть-чуть,
classes
что
a
как
little
еще
later
лучше
on,
пользоваться
and
учителями
Alex will
обучением.
also cover
Итого у нас
alternative
те же
ways
самые 5
of boosting the
модулей
value
по
of
2
these
дня и
classes.
максимальное количество
So
40
for
баллов.
practical classes, you can earn
Посещение семинаров
as many
строгого
as
2
40
балла,
points
и вы
across the entire
максимально
program.
можете за программу
And
заработать
then we
10
have
баллов.
points
Авторские
for
студии
top
наших
seminars, 2 points each, and then
тренеров
we have
2 балла и
author
так до 5
studios,
баллов.
2
А
points
теперь посмотрите,
each,
пожалуйста,
as
подведение
many as 10
итогов,
points for the
написание
duration of the
эссе
program.
10 баллов. Это
And
самая
then we have
высокооцененная
essays.
активность.
This is
Потому
the
что для того,
highest
чтобы вы
ranking
написали эссе, вам
activity.
необходимо
An essay
знать
brings you
теоретический
10 points
материал,
each because
задать
you
все
need to
вопросы
know the
тренеру,
theory, you need to
самостоятельно
have
поработать с
asked questions
заданием,
to your
пройти
coach,
это
you need
задание
to
с
have
группой,
analyzed the
услышать мнение
case,
тренера,
to
пойти
work
что-то
in to
сделать в
have
своей
worked in a
практике,
group,
и
and
только
then to
потом
get
весь этот
feedback
опыт
from your
передать
coach,
вам в
and then
эссе.
you
Поэтому так высоко
resume, you sum up
оценивается
all your
именно эта
experience
активность.
in an
Помимо этого
essay.
есть
This
еще
is why
дополнительные
this
активности, они
activity brings you so
межсессионные,
many
это
points.
дополнительные
Then we
практические
have some additional
занятия. На
activities,
протяжении
additional
программы
practical
предусмотрено
classes,
20, и максимальное
2
количество,
points,
которое вы можете заработать за эту активность,
and you
40
can get
баллов.
as many as 40
Задали мы
points
еще одну
for
интересную
such
вещь за то,
additional
чтобы
practical
наносить как
classes.
можно больше пользы.
And
И вот,
finally,
скорее всего,
we
у
have
некоторых из вас может
a
оказаться
golden
какой-то полезный
opportunity
опыт,
for some of
интересный
our
кейс, интересное
participants who have
решение,
an interesting
или, может быть, вообще
experience or an
какое-то
interesting
дополнительное
solution or some
знание в том
additional
материале, в той теме,
knowledge
которую мы изучаем
of the
в
topic that
каком-то
we're
конкретном
analyzing
модуле.
that could be
И вам
beneficial
захочется
to
этим
other
поделиться в другой
participants
студии со
and
всей студенческой
that you would
аудиторией.
like to
Мы сможем организовать
share with other
дополнительный семинар
participants.
для
We
студентов,
can
вы его
analyze,
проведете,
we can organize a special
попробуйте себя в
additional
роли спикера,
seminar for our
передадите
students,
знания
and you
и
will get
плюс
a
еще
chance to
нанесете
conduct
пользу
it, to share
вашей
your
студенческой
experience,
аудитории,
and
вашим
to
коллегам.
bring extra value to your peer students. Dear colleagues, please pay attention to the fact that we will be ready to issue a certificate to students who earn 120 or more points across the duration of the program. So this is the territory of a student's responsibility. It is your choice which activities you would like to build your overall credits on. It is your own path towards a Tetics certificate. We will be happy to welcome you at every single activity that we offer within the program, and it is our sincere recommendation to attend as much as you can. However, we understand that you may face a shortage of time because the program is long and intensive. So please keep track of your points because this is a part of your responsibility during the program. So continuing the idea about skipping certain activities, there is a question of what you can do to compensate for the activities you have missed. If you missed a theoretical class, a lecture, you can always watch the recording in your personal account. It will be made available a few days later after the broadcast because we need some time to process it and to upload it to your personal accounts. And then you will need to make sure to mark this fact in your workout form. You will be able to find this in the organizational section of your personal account. You can also watch the seminar with a guest speaker you missed and also make sure to register it in your report card. Dear colleagues, you all understand that it is quite hard to compensate for a practical session that you missed, but you can make up for it by attending additional practical classes in between the sessions. If you feel that you're lacking points for a particular module, and if you did not count on writing an essay in this particular module, you can nevertheless give it a try, because all modules are beneficial for your work and all modules contain a tool set that you can later use. If you have relevant experience, please feel free to share it. It is very valuable to us and other participants. Moreover, you can attend additional practical classes in between the sessions. We call them additional. Of course, everyone is very welcome to attend every single class that we're offering, but again, it's your personal choice. And if you're lacking points in the core 3-day sessions, you can make up for this shortage of points by attending those practical classes. And finally, you can conduct an additional useful webinar on the topic of the module. Your academic performance is reflected in the report card in your personal account, and there you can track how many points you earn for every activity that you participate in or complete. Please pay attention to the fact that we will take a couple of days to analyze and to process all of the information before we update your report card. So please don't panic if you don't see the immediate update after you attend an activity. So dear colleagues, in conclusion of my presentation, I would like to share some of my experience as a curator, as a facilitator, as we've worked with a great many groups, and our facilitator and moderator team has given over 16,000 classes over the last few years. Speaking about organizational methods, all groups are different. All groups have their own unique dynamics of work, and they reach this point when the group turns into a real team at different times of our course. So this break point is individual for each group as well. However, we apply a number of methodologies with our groups. We apply certain rules to help us complete all the organizational tasks as early as possible, because we make sure our students know that they need to prepare for practical classes in advance. And we also always emphasize that we don't waste the time during practical classes to resolve any organizational matters, because our curators are always available in Skype, in messengers, in your email. So please don't bring any organizational issues that you may experience to our practical classes, because the classes are not very long. They're 40 to 60 minutes in a group of 8 to 10 people, and you need to analyze several cases during that time. So it's not a good idea to waste this time on resolving any issues that do not contribute to your overall training result. Please make sure to read the cases before the session. This is also an important recommendation. Cases could be long, but you need to study this material, even though you don't know the theory probably, or you don't know the tools, but you need to be aware of the situation you'll be analyzing. First of all, when you know the case, you won't be wasting time on reading through it during the practical class itself. And as you listen to the coach with an understanding of what tasks you need to handle at the practical class, your brain will already be looking for tools that can help you tackle those tasks. Another recommendation is to use the time before the class to prepare your own solution for the case. There will be a small break between theory and practice during each session, and we recommend that you use it for individual work on the case. This is an opportunity to really apply your talent. And as you work with the case, please make sure to write down your considerations and your conclusions and the solution you arrive at, because it will be very disappointing if you fail to recall the ideas that you have at the practical class afterwards. And finally, if you work with every case using this technique at the end of the program, you will have a collection of notes of managerial solutions that you can complement with ideas that you hear during discussions, interesting points to consider, or maybe opinions that contrast yours but complement the overall big picture of a managerial solution. Next, if a group wants to have a successful practical class, we suggest that they adhere to a set of rules that can help you avoid any lack of productivity during the class. These rules are very simple. Please turn off your mobile phones, or make sure that they are in silent mode and do not distract anyone from the discussion. Then please make sure to turn off the sound in the video conference if you aren't speaking. Any kind of noise, it can be very distracting to the speaker and can be very irritating for the entire group, because they disrupt the atmosphere and you waste your time and energy to deal with them. And the time of practical classes is extremely valuable. We work in groups of 8 to 10 people, and a class lasts from 40 to 60 minutes. It's not long. So to get some additional bonus from this process, make sure you speak very concisely and laconically. Make sure that your presentations are limited to 1 minute, which is a very valuable skill for any manager. And make sure to pass the floor to your peers during practical classes. Of course, you'll have a handful of introductory sessions where you can get to know one another. They will be organized by curators. However, we aren't very well acquainted with one another, and even if will be working with our cameras on, and this is our recommendation to keep the video on, for us to better understand who's speaking, make sure to introduce yourself, to say your name before you speak. And then when you're done, to avoid pauses and to avoid wasting time, please say, "I'm passing the floor." These rules are very simple, but they can make discussion a lot more productive. And finally, my colleagues Alexandra and Vyacheslav will say a few words, and I will just begin this point about respect. People can have a lot of different opinions regarding one single situation. And in a group of 8 to 10, there can be up to 8 or 10 opinions. Please be prepared to hear other people's opinions and do not reject them out of hand. Please find respect for other people's opinions because they may complement your own life experience. However, if you disagree with someone, make sure to express your disagreement, but justify your position as well. And finally, at the class, you need to discuss the task, the case, and the solution. Because adult people sometimes get distracted and begin to discuss something that is not exactly relevant to the initial point, and it's very hard to get the discussion back on track. Our facilitators will be monitoring the discussion and making sure that you stick to the agenda. However, we also request that you stay focused on the particular case that you're here for. And if you broach interesting topics during your discussion that you would like to discuss further on, please make sure to note them. And probably you could discuss it in between the sessions and make our program even more productive. Dear colleagues, this is probably everything I wanted to tell you about organizational matters. Our curators are always here to help you and to explain to you how things will be going on. And you can find absolutely everything that you need about our program in your personal accounts. And now 3 steps of what you need to do before starting the program.
If you have not performed and completed the task, it's necessary to send us and then to have an interview with us. Thereafter, you will have a special form when you have to choose the group, and the students who are interviewed they have such an opportunity to schedule their education, their courses, and to choose the group. Why do we have such opportunity? Because probably if you have joined us together with your colleagues, you have to stick to your group or to be divided into different groups, thus you have such opportunities. Another question, all the corporate clients that we have, they're interested in whether it is necessary to work with the same group. So we think that it will be much more useful for you if you will attend different groups and then later on you will have the opportunity to discuss it. And the last step is, so remember about our addresses, and you have to add them to the whitelist to track all the chats, all the letters, because later you will have all the crucial information and organizational matters. Now I'm giving a floor to my colleague Alexandra Orlov. How does it look like? The first days, Friday and Saturday, we have the block of lections that we work with cases. You have to listen to different situations to answer to the questions and compare your solutions with the ideas of other people. Remember about blind zones or the moments that you where you have gaps. So we have 40 minutes for such work. Then we are working individually, continue working in group, and then we are working all together. The first sessions, they will be slightly different because we have our activity will be built on the introducing to get to know each other better. But we will result in working with cases as well. On Sunday, we have guest speakers. This will be the first hour of our session. The first Sunday, the first work, we'll have Anton Savachka, who is a certified facilitator, and to our opinion, it's quite a practical story, and it's very crucial for work with people to understand that all the stories are different and how to use this tool interacting to other people. Then 2 hours later, we are getting together as well and continue working. We have two studios, the studio of career of Slava Pankratov and management style. This is my studio. Now I'm giving the floor to Slava Pankratov, to Kiev. Hello everyone, my name is Vyacheslav Pankratov. Probably know you personally because we have met before during the introductory interview when we were talking about the programs there, schedule, the programs of our college. Now here you can make the choice better, I hope, with our help, career studio, for example, and whether it's useful for you and can meet your needs. So my name is Slava Pankratov. I'm the managing partner of the School of Managers Tetics, and I'm here because my career was quite incredible. Probably I was not the best employee to my bosses that I had before, but probably my skills, the market that I'm at, and my behavior, my character, I understand, of course, that I have made a number of mistakes, but it took me 6-7 years and I changed my career. I was a testing engineer, and now I making the career of the CTO in the Kiev, and I think this is the right name for my position. So about the career, I liked the story, and I liked the story of making career, going up to the career ladder, how to achieve the goals, and I've been working for centers as an internal advisor. I had an opportunity to work with the employees, and later I understood that we do not talk a lot, do not talk enough about the career when we are making the question, what would you like to do? For example, I would like to be an expert, or I would like to make this profession. But career, this topic is incredible, it's really interesting, and everyone can play this game. The employee, the company, so it's very involving. Thus, the company can obtain a motivated employee who knows what he would like to achieve and who is capable to develop and to achieve certain goals. So, what's more, I understand that I have my personal opportunities and interests. Thus, I understood that I would like to start a new project. And the name is the Career Studio. It's not the first training that we organized. We had several generations of them. And basically, this is the fourth or the fifth generation, if I can say so. So, what are the topics to be covered? What are the career? Who manages the career? Who is responsible for the career? The opinion about ourselves? How do other people see us and evaluate us? Like to compare the reality and our ideas. We are all people and would like to get to know it better, how other people can see us. Why some people are promoted and other people even do not have the opportunity to give a try to do that. What kind of directions do you see, and what kind of manager can you be? Do I want to go there, or would I like to be an administrator, or to try out several positions at the same time? How to understand better? probably you or me, you realizes the mistakes they've made and that you were going to the wrong direction. Now we decided to add this to our plan, to our topics, and try to discuss this topic with you. Thus you can try out several tasks and roles better. Thus probably we can spare several years for you, years of your career. And the question is about environment. What is environment is necessary for your future growth? What is the driver of the career? And how does it influence your career? And where you can find the right energy, the battery. We will talk about this term, battery, about the definition, and the battery, the quantity of energy, how to add energy up, because when a company can see a very sick and tired and very exhausted people or employees, probably they would like to make some changes to give the opportunities for other people, for other employees. So it is very important to be in the right conditions, to be able to work and to go further. So they are all the topics, and I hope we'll discuss with you during the next 6 or probably 5 meetings once in a week. And now about the format. Parallelly, we have several studios, thus you have to choose what is more appealing to you, because we'll have the access to all the videos and webinars about the seminars, 45 to 60 minutes of the theory. At the end, you will get all the information in your back office on your account, but you won't have the access to the group work, to the practical work, the work over the cases, and where you can discuss with other students the information. And probably some people try to hide some information, the companies, the names of the companies, and thus we will work on personal cases. But me, I would prefer to concentrate on the impersonal one. Thus we will use different tools. Our students will work in groups of 2 or 3. Thus they can compare the resumes, for example, the CVs, the accounts and social networks, but thus you don't have access because we won't recode this part. But I would like to mention as well, because you have the opportunity to change and to choose different studios, but you have to take in mind that you can attend only one studio, answering the participants' questions. I didn't know the number of those questions, but I have noticed when I am preparing to the course, I'm beginning with the answers. Probably the questions are not much, but not many, but I would like to answer to them. And if someone asks me a question, I spend some time to find the answer. Probably we won't record it as well, so thus I'd like to make it clear to you what you will be able to see or not. Almost all the students that I have been interviewing, I try to recommend them to attend the studio of Alexandra Orlov. And what have I noticed personally? When we are talking about the case proposed to you, I've listened to several logical opinions, and I can agree, I can disagree, it's okay, they're all real ones, but I have listened to a number of doubts, and probably will listen to them during the classes and in real life too. You might have doubts talking to clients, customers, a subcontractor. So you might be wrong, you might be right, but why do you have such doubts? Because everything, whatever you do, you have doubts. Of course, we live in a complicated world and everyone have a right to have doubts, but we have to be sure that your opinion is right. I would like to wish you and to tell you that our program is not only the program which you can put into pieces. This is a path where you can be sure in your skills. Probably the certifications of PMI institution. Not everyone, not every manager requires that. But as you realizes that this is the right decision, that you have some skills and knowledges that you can based on. Me personally, I can trust them and can rely on them. It makes me some confidence. I would like to wish you to broaden your mind looking at the program. This is the group, their knowledge, their skills, the source of new information, new resources, and new experience. Probably you feel some doubts right now, but for many people it's a motivator to attend the classes, and I would like to make you sure that you know what to do. You understand that you do not know everything, but thus you can learn slightly more. And I would like you that other people can argue with you, can disagree with you, but you have to be confident because the confidence is crucial, verbally, non-verbally. This is the best driver of the career. Alexandra, I'm giving to you a floor. Tell us about the studio, and thus we'll sum it up. Thank you very much for the opportunity. I'm giving a floor.
Dear colleagues, in just a couple of words, I'll tell you about the second studio, the management style studio. Where did I get the idea? There are several management styles in the theory of management. There's the directive style or authoritarian, because it sometimes sounds rather rude or rigid, but sometimes it works well when a good professional, a solid professional becomes a manager, or a good tester becomes a manager of the testing team. They can easily tell their team what to do because they know what to do, because they are solid professionals. The second style is the charismatic style, when you have a lot of energy and when you're good at encouraging your team to go on and to deliver good results. There are a couple more styles. There's the fatherly style, where the people are key, and even if somebody fails to meet the deadline, it's still more important what kind of a person they are. Then there's the democratic style, and there's the exemplary style, when I lead my team by example. If I overwork, I expect my team to overwork, and so on. In most cases, we are slaves to one or maybe two managerial styles because they are natural for us, they are native styles. And when somebody becomes the team lead or a manager, they use their native style in most cases because this is the most efficient for them at the moment. What's more, this native style always comes forth in stressful situations. When you're under pressure, you're more likely to act in the way you're naturally inclined to. However, there is a dark side to this, because you're good at using a hammer, everything looks like a nail to you. And if you lead by example, you end up working more than anyone else because other people can't work as much. And if you are an authoritarian leader, you have to be telling people what to do all the time. If you're democratic, you end up being too lenient, and so on and so forth. At the end of the day, you are the one working more than anyone else, and the team only uses your energy instead of replenishing it. You may have noticed that we are hearing more and more reports and presentations about the problem of burnout at presentations, and many managers approach us with questions on how to make their energy
Чтобы это
last.
происходило, нужно
And to
понять
do it,
несколько вещей.
you need to
Первая вещь — это
understand a
то,
few
что
things.
каждый из этих стилей, он
Every
уместен для
style,
каждой
every
своей
managerial
конкретной
style
ситуации.
available works
Деятельный
well
стиль
with
для
certain
кризисов, для
situations. The
работы над
directive style
проблемами с
works well with
сотрудниками,
problems,
харизматичный для
charismatic
того,
style
чтобы
works well with
выходить на
new
новые
business
направления,
areas.
проводить реформы, так немножко
Then
подталкивающие
fatherly
к
style
изменениям,
works
добавляет
well
энергии.
in
Отечественный подход —
complex
это попали в
situations,
сложную
and it works
ситуацию, и
well
вот вы
in
идете на
combination with the
сберегательном
directive
стиле,
style,
когда
when
здесь
you
нужно не
support
усилия, а здесь
people
нужно
and
просто
give them
все
rigid
очень
guidelines at
срочно
the
и
same
достать. Вот,
time.
вот так вот
Sometimes
хочется
when you're
поступить, но на самом
acting on a
деле
tight
очень
timeline, it's a
сложно
good
поехать.
combination. Democratic
Демократичный стиль
style
нужен для своей ситуации,
and
талантливой своей.
exemplary style work
То есть так или
well
иначе
in
все эти
particular
стили
situations
улучшают
as
под
well and with
ситуацию, под
particular
сотрудника.
teams. Of course, you need to
И
look at the
то,
team
что
as well.
остается за рамками этой картины,
However,
это то,
there's a
что
style that
все эти
stands
стили
aside from the
довольно
situation,
плохо
from
помогают
the
в выращивании, что ли,
big picture. That's the
выращиванию себя
coaching
самим.
style.
Потому что там хорошо работает другой
It
стиль,
is
который
sometimes
иногда называют
also called the
коучинговым, иногда
development
называют
style,
развивающим, где мы,
because
люди,
this is the
включаем мозг, когда
style
что-то
in
намеряем
which
сделать,
we encourage
смотрим, что
our
люди
team
предлагают, именно
members
это
to
определяет их
engage their
автономностью,
brain,
именно
to
это
grow, to
позволяет им
develop,
расти, а вам, соответственно,
and it
передавать
also
им часть
enables
этих
you to
обязанностей и
delegate
включать
some
их
of your
энергию в работу.
tasks to you.
Потому что если человек
Because if your
добровольно
team
что-то
members
предлагает и
come up
делает по-доброму,
with
это
business
есть часть
offers
его
and with new
бизнеса
ideas,
часто,
they
и в этом
contribute
есть
a
его
lot more
ответственность.
to the general working
К
process.
чему все это я
So,
веду, да, и
what's my
какое
main
отношение здесь
point?
будет, какое отношение все эти
What does
имеют
it
стили
have to do
между
with
собой
the
стили?
management style
Важно
studio?
выбирать
It's
стиль
important to
управления в
choose a
зависимости от
management
ситуации.
style
Стрессовые
consciously depending
ситуации,
on the
когда нужно
situation
быстро
and
сделать, чтобы
depending
у
on
вас все
your
хорошо
team.
поработало. Наша
Our
задача
task
будет
is to
добавлять
add more
непосредственное
flexibility to your
управление, чтобы
managerial
каждого сотрудника
style
хорошо
so that you
наработать
could not only
удобно,
use
но
your
замечать,
habitual
как именно
hammer,
молотком вы
but also
пользуетесь,
use other
как
tools
именно он у
as
вас
well,
получается,
and
и
to
пробовать
apply
немножко другие
different
стили в разных
styles
случаях.
to different
Мы
cases
будем
and
работать над
situations.
повышением, по сути,
You
осознанности,
also need to
большего
work on your
понимания себя.
awareness and
Почему вот именно
responsibility.
у
You
меня
need to be
включается вот именно такой
able
стиль?
to understand
Какие мои
what
личностные особенности на это
personality
влияют? И
traits
как только у вас повышается
result in your
осознанность, здесь
managerial
возникает
style.
выбор.
You need
Либо
to
действовать как
avoid
раньше на автомате,
automatic
либо
thinking,
действовать
and
немного иначе, что-то
it's also a
попробовать в
good idea
безопасных
to
условиях.
train
Потому что
new
мы будем
styles
пробовать
in a
разные
safe
инструменты, мы
environment
будем
and to be
тренироваться
able
друг
to
от друга,
share
делясь обратной
feedback with
связью,
other
делясь тем,
participants,
что
to
вы
be able to
испытываете,
share
тем,
your
что вы чувствуете,
emotions
тем, что
and
вы думаете в
ideas,
этот момент.
because
Потому что
this
именно
is
это
the
позволяет
way
сформировать
to
вот эту
form
конкретную
flexibility
автономность,
that will
которая
later
потом даст
become
базовую
a
уверенность, вот
source
то,
of
о чем говорил
your
Слава.
confidence as a
А
manager. Speaking
Если
in
говорить
terms of
инструментально,
tools,
мы
we
будем
will be
работать над
working on
более конкретными
particular
коучинговыми
specific
инструментами,
coaching tools
полезными
that are
для
good
этого
for
уровня.
every leader.
Оценочная
Non-judgment
феноменология,
phenomenology,
значение
coaching
перейдем
arc,
от
need for
коучинга
words,
под именно
process,
процесс
the
присвоения
energy
опыта.
that we
То есть
use,
каждый
and
из
the
этих
appropriation
аргументов
of
мы будем
experience.
затрагивать,
We're going to
чтобы смотреть,
analyze
как
each of
это
these
работает,
tools to
чтобы
see what
смотреть,
works
какой
best
стиль
for you and
управления
what management
стоит
style
выбирать,
works best for
чтобы
you,
смотреть, кому
so
и
that you
как я
can
могу применять
use the
развивающий стиль
developmental
управления, поскольку он
style
тоже
when
применяется не ко
it's
всем людям.
when it
И на
applies, when it
этом мы
works
будем
well with your
работать. То есть
team.
лучшее понимание себя для лучшего
It's
взаимодействия с
not
другими
just
людьми и
an
для того, чтобы люди росли,
it's
а
not a
вам становилось
theoretical
работать
exercise, it's a
полегче,
practical
и вы
tool
могли
to
двигаться
make
куда-то
your
дальше,
work
туда,
easier and
где
to
для вас
make
важно.
your
Вот
teams
про это
more
будет
efficient. This
моя
is
студия.
the main
Но, повторюсь,
objective
в
of
основном
my
мы будем работать
studio.
вместе. Пятница,
So on
суббота.
Friday and on
Лекции,
Saturday we will
кейсы,
be
разборы
having
на всех.
lectures and
Воскресенье где-нибудь по
cases,
спикерам
and on
расходимся по
Sunday we will be
группе,
having
собираемся и
studios,
разбиваем
and also we
трехдневку,
will draw
подводим итог,
conclusions
что вы
after
для
the
себя
3-day
доносите из этой
session.
трехдневки.
A couple of words on
Пару
making
слов про то, как
learning
сделать
as
обучение максимально
beneficial and
полезным
as
для людей.
valuable as possible.
Первая история —
First of all,
выделите это время, пожалуйста,
reserve
для
this
себя.
time for
Мы понимаем,
studying.
что на ваше время претендует много
Of course, you
кто.
have colleagues, you have your
Коллеги,
family, you have
начальник,
your business, you
бизнес,
have your
семья.
boss,
Вас
and
будут
everybody
раздавать.
wants a piece
И
of you.
если вы это время для
However,
себя не выделите, ну,
the effect
эффект
is
будет
much
не
lower
будет
if you
такой,
let
он
them.
будет гораздо меньше. Просто
What can I compare it
с чем бы
to?
это сравнить,
If you're
да, вот
going to the
если
gym,
вы идете в
you
тренажерный зал,
use
да, вы
weights,
занимаетесь там
you
на гантелях, на
use
тренажерах, со
different
штангами. Вот, это же не так, что
machines.
вы одной рукой гантелю, а другой стороной, значит, пишете
And
что-то по
as you
своим,
train, you
потом
do
звонит
not
заказчик, и
answer, you do not
все
take
это
conference
продается.
calls, you do not answer
Понимаете, так это не
emails
работает. То есть, если
because
кто
it
заботит, да,
decreases
вот
the overall
меняется
effect from
организм.
your workout. out. And the same goes for our training here. To make your sessions meaningful, make sure you're as engaged in the process as possible. Make sure you don't plan anything else for this time. No work meetings, no dentist appointments. nothing.
иначе, если вы не
Make
выделите
sure
это
that
время
this
какое-то
time
заодно,
is for studying only.
постарайтесь быть максимально,
And make
как
sure
сказать,
you're as
максимально
involved
присутствовать.
as possible
Потому что за
because
ваше
you
внимание
will
будут
get
бороться
distracted
мессенджеры,
by
почта,
Instagram, by
Инстаграм,
TikTok,
ТикТоки,
messengers,
вот это все.
mailboxes,
Но верная
anything.
ровно
But
вещь, что чем более
the more
сосредоточены вы
focused you
думаете
can
о
be
себе,
on the
тем
process of
больше
learning, the
инсайтов,
more
мыслей
insights and
и
ideas you
осознаний у вас
get.
будет.
And to ensure
Чтобы
this
это
effect,
случалось,
make sure you're
постарайтесь быть
present.
здесь.
If you
Если чувствуете,
feel
что вас
that
тянет
you
куда-то в
are
ТикТок,
tempted
заметьте за
to
собой,
check
почему
your
так
TikTok
происходит.
feed, for instance,
Что именно вас
please
сейчас
make sure
подталкивает
to
к этому
analyze what
сопротивлению. Это тоже
caused
будет
this
полезно
reaction
потом
and
в
what
работе, и все
caused
это
this
процесс будет
sudden
повторяться.
urge, because this is beneficial
Что
too.
еще? Вряд ли вас
Furthermore,
работу кто-то с вас снимет, да, и семья
give
тоже
yourself
остается, и
some
личная
extra
жизнь.
time to
И
recover.
ищите трехдневки раз в месяц.
Make sure you find a
Подумайте,
way
как вы
to
будете
replenish your
восстанавливаться.
energy. Maybe a
Может быть, какой-то
massage
массаж
session,
добавите,
maybe
какую-нибудь
a
прогулку.
walk
Или возьмите все
outdoors,
время там, и не будете, не
maybe
знаю, на эти
giving up
полгода
some
чем-то
of your
заниматься, да,
usual
то, чем вы
hobbies or
обычно
activities for this
занимаетесь.
half a year.
Выделите, пожалуйста,
Make
время
sure
себе
to
на
get some
восстановление, потому
extra
что это
time to
важно.
recover.
По ходу
As you
обучения,
learn,
на что
please
обращайте
make sure
внимание?
to
Какое
analyze what this
отношение
all
все
has
это
to
имеет
do
к
with
вашей
your
реальности?
reality, what
То,
you're
что
working
звучит,
on,
то, над чем
what
вы
you're doing
работаете,
within
то,
a
как
group,
вы
the
работаете в группе,
emotions
то,
that
что
you
вы испытываете в
experience
данный
during
момент.
sessions,
Где этот
where you
микропроцесс
can find
повторяется
this
вот в
micro
вашей реальности?
process
Какое
in
это имеет
your
отношение
reality,
к
in your
вашей жизни?
real
Что это
world
означает,
work,
что вы там можете
what you
поменять и
need
на
to
что
pay
обратить
extra
внимание?
attention to.
Я бы еще
I also
порекомендовал действительно
suggest that my
сделать
students take
трехдневный
notes.
конспект. Я
I
тоже делюсь
always
трехдневками и всегда
train
пишу
my
конспекты.
students in
У меня
3-day
это обычно
sessions,
состоит из следующих
and I always
таких
and
блоков.
I
Да?
prefer
Первое
to
это
learn in
идеи, то
such
есть
a
те
way
мысли,
too.
инсайты,
And I
которые мне
always
приходят. Я
take
их
notes when
записываю,
I
я их
learn,
перечитываю
and I make
и
sure to
еще раз
reread them because I
анализирую.
always find
Второе это
something new.
действие. Что я в реальной жизни
And
буду делать
also
по
make
поводу того,
sure
что я
to
услышал.
analyze what
Третье
you
это
can do,
инструменты.
what you can apply
То
to your
есть
real life.
что ссылка на
Then make
какой-то,
sure
не
to
знаю,
use
опросник
tools,
по
for example,
типологии
links
какой-нибудь.
to
Ссылка там на
questionnaires,
что-то еще, да,
links
на
to one-on-one
мотивацию
meetings,
обучения, да, и так далее.
methodology.
То есть какие-то
So
инструменты, как
include
поискать,
these
быстро
tools in your
зашел,
notes to be able to use
попросился.
them instantly.
Что еще посмотреть?
Then
Это
make
какие-то
sure to
материалы,
check out
книжки,
some extra
статьи,
materials and links
ссылки
to
на
videos.
видео, то, что
Whatever the
звучит, то,
speaker
что спикер
mentions,
упоминает. Если меня это
please
заинтересует,
write
я это
down these
записываю.
links
И отдельно пишу
and
тезисы,
also take
чтобы я
some
потом мог туда
abstracts.
заглянуть в свой
Write
конспект
down
и
the
быстро
main
вспомнить, о чем там было
takeaways of
речь. Готовясь к
every
выступлению, готовясь к
meetings
рассказу
for you to
какому-то
be
еще.
able to
Может
scan
быть, у
them
вас будут
quickly.
какие-то другие категории. Но я
So
рекомендую писать
notes are
конспект, потому
key
что это
because
позволяет
they
глубже
enhance your
прорабатывать материал.
understanding of the material.
Послушать,
You listen
подумать
to a
над кейсом,
lecture, you
обсудить в
analyze a
группе,
case, you
записать в
analyze it in
конспект,
a group, and
кому-то
then you
рассказать
tell
этот материал.
someone.
Это все
These
разные
are all
формы
different
взаимодействия с
approaches
материалом,
to
с
the same
информацией.
material that
И это
can
позволяет
deepen
глубже
your
понимать
understanding of the entire
всю эту
story and
историю
that
и
can
встраивать в
boost
свою
your
практику. Поэтому
practice.
постарайтесь это делать.
And finally, the
И
last slide for
последний
today.
слайд на сегодня, коллеги, с чего начать? Да,
What
какие
to
теперь
begin
вещи?
with? First
Первое,
of
с чего
all,
я бы
what you can
начал, это
do is
просто
you can
время,
add the
даты определить в
training
своем
dates and
календаре,
times to your
если вам
calendar.
туда ничего не наставили. Вбейте
And please
это
make
время
sure
себе
to
в
tell
календарь, всем
everyone
скажите,
that
что вы
you're
будете
going to
учиться,
be
чтобы
learning
никто на
during
вас
that time
это
so
время
that
не
they
рассчитывал.
don't distract you.
Постарайтесь
Try to get a
хорошенько
good
ознакомить
rest
первую
before your
трехдневку.
first
Она у
3-day
нас уже
sessions. It's
ежедневная
already
под
only a
моей
week
командой.
away,
Постарайтесь
and you need
не
to be
сильно
able
себя
to
перегрузить и
approach
подойти к
your
обучению в
training
более или менее
process
ресурсном
in
состоянии,
a
потому что оно вам
calm
пригодится.
and relaxed
Если вы еще не заполнили карточку
state.
студента, с
If you
водным
have not
кейсом
yet
самое
filled
время
out the
это
student
сделать,
card
и
with
у
an
нас еще будет
introductory
неделя для
case,
того, чтобы
please do
пообщаться
it
с
because we
теми
still have a
студентами, с кем мы
week
еще не пообщались.
to have an
Первое
interview with
занятие у нас
students
будет
who we
5
haven't spoken
февраля.
to.
Утренний
Our
поток
first
начинает в
lesson
10
takes place
часов
on February
утра
5th,
по Москве.
2021 at
Здесь я вас
10
хочу, коллеги,
Moscow
поздравить
time,
с
and I would
поступлением
like to welcome
в
you
высокоплановое
to Tetics School
историческое
of,
анимационное
of
бюро, потому
Managers,
что
and this is
это
our
самая крутая программа
best
с
and
интендантом,
most
самая практичная,
action-packed
самая наполненная
programs
кейсами, самым большим присутствием
with
тренеров
the
и
most
кураторов.
curators.
То есть
So
это, по
this
сути,
program
очень
features a
крутая
great
инфраструктура для
infrastructure that
изменений.
drives
Я
positive
надеюсь, вам там
change,
будет
and
интересно,
I'll be
полезно. Если
happy
есть
to
какие-то
address
вопросы,
your
которые сейчас не
questions
возникли,
now
или
or
вам стоит
later.
приколzapить,
Please
пишите,
contact
пожалуйста, на
us at
school@skatotal.ru или задавайте вашими куратору.
school@tetics.com or write to
В
your
любом случае
curator.
вы ответ
You
получите.
will receive an answer to your
Останавливаемся здесь,
questions
коллеги.
as
Давайте
soon as
заглянем
possible. So, dear colleagues, now I'm ready to answer your questions. How to access your personal account? Please write to school@tetics.com. You should have received an email already. If you haven't, we will send it to you. We will send it to you as soon as possible. And we will always send a list of additional materials, some reading materials, books that we suggest that our students read. Sometimes these lists contain too much excessive information or books that are not content-packed. So we will give some very concise recommendations of books that are the most beneficial for our purposes. So, dear friends, thank you so much for your attention. We're a little over 1 hour, but I believe that we've been able to cover all that matters. And I can see some more questions. Dear colleagues, if we don't address them at the moment, we will answer them in the chat. Thank you for your time, and I will meet the team course in a week on Friday. Good luck to you and goodbye.